welcome to the Ladies' Room. I'm Judy McDowell, your host, and with me today I have my wonderful, lovely friend, who everybody says looks like Annie Lennox. We were just talking about that, Jeanne Cuddy-Peretz. And Jeanne is a wonderful private chef. We've done lots of parties together and had so much fun. You're so great to work with. And she does the Barefoot Contessa show all the time, working like a dog on that show. And also, you can see her at Wolfer and at Loaves and Fishes doing cooking classes and demonstrations. You're doing mostly Wolfer now?
Yes.
Okay, so you have some coming up at Wolfer. Do you know what they're going to be
in January, February, there's, make sure you check their website. There is 3, and they are all wine and food pairings.
Oh, that's cool.
We're using wine in the food.
That's good.
There was a New York Times article about in October, and it talked about using verjus as opposed to lemon juice in lemon bars. So it's a verjus sort of dessert bar, and we're doing 2 demos proper. I'm demoing and people are sitting, and then the third one is a luncheon. So you can do 1 or 2 or all 3.
Linda Ardigo and I came to your cooking class when you did the pizzas, and we were like, we'll have more wine. We'll have more wine. We got everybody ripped. We had such a good time.
It was really fun.
And joining us today, we have the adorable Monique Wisniewski that has Spa Unique, moving to Jim in Southampton soon, moving to your neighborhood soon, and Evie Scharff, who is a spray tan artist and also at Core Dynamics in Watermill. Private appointments.
Yes.
Yeah, so welcome.
Thank you for having us.
And today you are making your world famous brownies. They're so different from any brownie that I've ever had before. And one brownie feeds about 8 people.
Wow.
It does.
Right.
So
it's a brownie, but it's really a dessert. You think that someone says, "Oh, I'm buying a brownie," but it's really wonderful, and it's layered with a chocolate buttercream is what I'm calling it. It's not quite. I'm sorry. Excuse me. A peanut butter buttercream, and then topped with a chocolate ganache. So you can see actually here the stripe of
that looks
oh my God,
the stripe of both. So I was going to sort of assemble a bar. If that's is that good?
No, so peanut butter cream. So this is something you make in your Cuisinart, and you add butter to peanut butter.
A little butter and confectioner's sugar. Some salt, some vanilla, and just to get the right consistency so I can spread it, and then it remains hard enough so when you cut it, it doesn't turn into softness. It really is. It keeps its edge.
Yeah, its consistency.
And you really want to unwrap them. You can see I have some wrapped here. They're 8-ounce brownies. You want to unwrap them cold and eat them room temperature. Really, I mean, people tell me you can eat them frozen, cold, hot, melted, but
with ice cream.
Yeah, without. But basically, I would say to cut them so you do keep that nice edge. Cut them cold.
So Monique, you had a question about ganache.
Yes, exactly. What is ganache?
Ganache is chocolate and cream. So you see cakes with a beautiful, flawless poured chocolate ganache over it. That would have a little more cream in it than, for instance, what I'm doing, because I want it to set up when it's chilled so that when you unwrap the cellophane off it, it doesn't pull off. So it's just varying combinations or proportions of chocolate. And you can use bittersweet, semi-sweet combinations. You could add a little coffee in it. Coffee and chocolate are really good. It enhances the flavor.
Good.
So that's basically what it is. And if I put a little bowl here if you guys want to take a scoop.
Yes, absolutely. Now this will dry.
Should we have those little cups? Should I get a couple of those little cups? Or are you
Well, I could put the spoons for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
See.
The chocolate tasting heavy. You're going to get in there?
Yes, I definitely. Oh my God.
And Jeanne, are these some special
Those
kind
are
of almonds?
well, they're almonds that I roasted and as just another idea for gifts, for holiday baking gifts. So I roasted them and I put them in a jar with some cellophane, which I always think makes things look really festive, and a bow. And
now you're just doing this for a limited time only.
I'm only doing the brownie. I just brought some other ideas for everyone, to if
and
last
you're
minute
going to give us
bake
a lesson on how to wrap things to make them look very festive and special. Excellent.
But yeah, these are available through Christmas. Really, there will be some available through Christmas and New Year's, but I think the bulk of the production will be done just before Christmas.
Okay, well, if you've never had one of Jeanne's brownies, it is a wonderful experience.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I will go on with what I've done is I've baked it. This is how I bake them. You can bake them in little
Bake them
8 by
in a
8
cookie
squares.
sheet.
A brownie?
You bake them in a cookie sheet, or
Well,
is
this
this
isn't a
different
cookie
from-
sheet. Yeah,
Oh,
this
it's
has
not.
the edge. So a cookie sheet would, well, you know, a cookie sheet
I
has
have
either,
cookie sheets like this that have an edge.
and you can, but this is, you know, sort of a
How
commercial
do you know
sheet
it's not
tray.
going to run over?
I've made them enough, and you know, just proportionate.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. It puffs a little bit as you're baking it, but then it just settles,
Uh-huh.
and that's sort of the fudginess. It's not. There's not a lot of flour in this recipe, but basically, so I cook it in this pan, and then I sort of edge it
Oh,
out.
and you put parchment
And I
paper
put parchment
under.
so it doesn't.
Ah, that's very
Ah,
smart.
so it
You don't
doesn't
take that
stick,
from
yeah.
Thank you. And then I have another tray here just in case, but basically, you can just flip over the dirty tray just to save it. You want to grab that one for
Yeah.
me too? Thanks. And then I do everything right on top, so it keeps it. If you iced it in the tray, you could never get it out
Right.
as like I do here. So basically, I know exactly how much peanut butter per sheet tray. So I've measured out the right amount.
This looks like a good tool to have. What's
It's a
this called?
great tool. It's called a bench scraper. So if
Bench scraper.
I mean, you can
could
like
actually spackle your wall with it too.
well, like for instance, it comes from really bread making. So you scrape up your dough from the bench,
Yeah.
and but I use it for this purpose. For if you're chopping herbs or something, you can kind of collect them quickly,
Oh, that's a
put
great
them in,
idea.
and then bring them
Yeah.
over the saute pan.
Huh.
So
Now
the
it's called a bench scraper.
Yeah.
That's funny for a cooking tool, but
yeah, and I have warm water here in the bucket. So basically, you want this to be soft as well, and you let the tool do your work. I have a offset spatula, which is flexible, and I just kind of work it into the corners.
So you baked for years out of the kitchen at Almond now. Almond is closing. I heard they're
Yes.
moving to East Hampton.
Oh my gosh.
I heard that they were looking for new space and that they were going to open, but I didn't hear anything specific, so that's great to hear.
Yeah, we need our Almond.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Well, hopefully we'll hear soon about.
Where that will be, yeah.
There's so many changes going on now.
I know.
Right after the
I didn't
holidays.
know that they were closing.
I think they closed December 5th.
They did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Excuse me, I'm just gonna, I usually spiral this around on my kitchen counter. But basically, so I just want to get all the edges really covered. And I keep using the warm spatula to help me with this. It seems like a huge job, but this is a huge tray of brownies. And the way I cut the brownies in 1 by 1 inch cubes, you can get 200 cubes out of this.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
So once you bought a
So
full
really
sheet tray for a
200
party,
people could have a piece of brownie
yeah,
at a party.
so a quarter sheet tray would yield 100. So it's really great. So I'm
So
just
that's
gonna,
a half a sheet. So a half a sheet cake is that size.
yes,
Huh.
I'm just gonna fuss a little bit more, and then we're gonna cover it with the ganache.
Okay, I'll clean that up. Don't worry. I have my little.
Now, how do you get it that creamy, the peanut butter?
It's just the recipe. It's in a mixer, in a standing mixer.
The butter. The
It's
butter.
the butter, peanut butter, and confectioner's sugar, and any other ingredient.
Everything tastes better with butter.
This is true. All right, I'm gonna just flip around.
It's like butter.
It's like butter.
I'm folding this.
Okay.
Give you a clean edge.
And you want to just get it, if you're looking for the look I have here, you just want to get it as smooth as possible, because otherwise the peanut butter will poke through
Yeah.
the,
You have somebody to help you. They pull off the little
yes.
edges and eat them.
I want to dive right into that.
I know
Dying
it
to
smells
try.
great, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here I've got my ganache.
So you have to do ganache over a double boiler.
You do, because
and how long does it take to do usually?
you know, essentially all you need to do is melt your cream. I do that first, and then
now
put my
heavy cream,
chocolate.
light cream.
Heavy. I mean, you can use combinations. Light cream, you can use some half and half. You know, if you're being diet conscious.
Yeah, right with a brownie.
Right. But you know, I think in restaurants I used to always use heavy cream, and
Yeah.
only. I might use a little bit of both now. And I kind of have a sense of this. We can
Heaven.
always add
That's
more.
amazing. Wow.
That's heaven.
And so I've cleaned that off. again, you use your tools to do the job, so you don't have to do so much work. And I just touch the edges so it stops flowing. And it has a beautiful shine, as you can see.
Yeah, so now what gives it the shine? The heavy cream?
Yeah, it's just the right combination. The chocolate, we're not tempering this chocolate. Usually the shiny chocolates are, because the chocolate is tempered, which is sort of slowly aligning, not molecules, but aligning hardened chocolate with softened. I'm not giving a very good description, but that is how you really yield a great shine. But this is just the combination.
So do you have to use baker's chocolate or any kind of chocolate? Or?
Well, for the ganache, no. You would use as good quality as you can afford. Semi-sweet. I wouldn't necessarily use milk, but you could, or bittersweet, or any combination.
So would people buy a bag of Nestle semi-sweet bits and
You
throw
could.
them in a thing with some heavy cream?
You could.
You could.
Yep, absolutely. Excuse my hands.
Look at all that peanut butter going to waste.
And so, Judy,
Save it for later.
if you want to take that away from me,
Okay.
This here, honey, the brownie.
What
'Cause
about it?
Would you take that away from me?
Oh,
I'll
this.
keep that.
Oh, you're keeping this.
And because I'll need that more warm, dirty water for.
So now I'm just going to put this over here. Is that okay?
That's absolutely fine.
Okay.
Oh, right by me.
Now,
How
Monique,
tempting.
you try to
So here we are.
control yourself.
Okay. Always good to clean up as you go.
Yes, why can't my daughter learn that?
Excuse me, I'm just going to wash my hands. Okay, so, excuse me just one moment. Okay, so now we've got the brownie. So this is 1/4, yes, 1/4 of the brownie lengthwise. And I yield 4 brownies from this in order to get that size brownie. And I just did it, years ago it made sense to me, seemed like the right size. So essentially this gets cut, and it's a warm knife again, and you just cut it so you keep your nice edge.
Looks perfect.
Perfect to eat.
And again. So from here, I then, see, that was that needed to be warmed up. That's what happens if you're a little hasty.
So the trick is the warm knife really
Yes.
helps you.
It
Do you
really
want me to
does.
put more hot water in
No,
there?
we're
Okay.
good. We're good, thank you.
Little holiday napkin for
Oh,
you.
thank you.
If I had had my wits about me, I would have brought holiday napkins.
If I had my wits about me, I would have too. I would have brought them.
It's a Monday, folks, and it was a big party weekend. We're lucky we're here at all.
Okay,
Oh my
so
God.
basically this is the little gorgeous thing, and we'll wrap these first, I'll give you a demonstration of wrapping, and then we can do some
Eddie,
eating.
Thank you.
So I just tightly put it together, and it's just a foam core board that I cut,
How
the
cute.
exact same size. And now we're just going to move over to our packing area.
Oh,
And
do you need the plastic wrap?
I'm great here.
Okay.
I've got a piece of cellophane that's already pre-cut, and I just place it right on top,
Okay,
and
well, there we go.
tighten it over, and little tape.
So you buy those big rolls of cellophane?
I do. I
And do
do.
you get them at Barboy in Hampton Bays?
Yeah, any kind of
Yeah,
restaurant.
I think that's the best place.
You
and
get a
and
better
the roll
quality
lasts
one.
forever.
Yeah, exactly. The ones you might buy in party stores are a little thin.
Thin, and they run out immediately.
Yeah,
You wrap one thing
exactly.
and it's already gone.
So anyway, so that,
Very nice presentation. Beautiful.
and then just to finish that one up is I just take some double stick tape and put it on top of the brownie, and it's about 1 foot of ribbon that just goes right over.
Oh.
Oopsie, let me make another piece.
That's cool.
And another piece on top. And your label, whether this is my card, but in any
Oh,
other
if you're giving
case,
them for
you
gifts.
can put your own card if you're doing this type of thing, or just a generic label, Happy Holidays to and from, or any kind of
Right.
piece of art that you'd like.
Or we could just get it from you.
Or you could just get it from me.
Do it for us.
And I'm
Very
sure they show my
heavy as
website. My email address, which you could order them from.
Yeah.
A little
So,
chocolate here.
I have chocolate.
You're
That's my
sneaking.
favorite, too.
So anyway, let me cut into this one, and you guys can all have a gander.
And so,
Very nice.
what other things are you wrapping? You're just doing your brownies for the
That's all I'm selling.
holidays?
I just brought some other things for, ideas for food gifts. They're easy, and they don't necessarily have to be a brownie with 3 different, components. They could be, again, roasted nuts, which are so easy. Everyone loves them. Gingerbread cookies, which I actually brought a roll of cookies.
In the refrigerator?
Did I put them in the fridge?
Yes.
It's in parchment
is it in the
paper?
fridge?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, what did you put on your nuts here?
These olive oil, I put some sea salt, pepper, white pepper actually on these, and rosemary and dried oregano.
Did you want
So,
this guy too?
Yes. No, thank you. I'm okay with that.
And then you roast them in the oven, or do you do
Yes.
that after?
Yeah, 350 for 10 to 12 minutes. You just have to, once you start smelling them, then you'll know as well as the color. But feel free to take a
Oh, so
taste.
you roast them in the oven, you don't
Yeah.
just put them in a pan?
Yep.
Okay.
And then also I just put, again, parchment paper, which I can't stress enough is like the key to everything.
Parchment
Non-stick.
paper's great.
Yeah, I don't buy, I use sheets of it instead of the roll because the roll, they have like an edge to the roll up. And if you can get them at like Bar Boy, Loaves and Fishes, and Bridgehampton sells them by the sheets. And they're just really handy. This is a shortbread dough, it's spiced, and it's similar to these gingerbread cookies in the roll. And you take your dough and you,
Why do you always refrigerate dough? Is it just
well,
to make
because
it...
of the butter. If you put this or sliced cookies in the oven warm, they would just melt. So you want to make them as cold as you can, even a bit frozen, and so that they hold their shape, because you're like there's a nice edge to that and corner to that. So it's a slow baking something cold.
Interesting.
but
And you
here-
do that with pie crusts and stuff too.
Yes, anything with butter really. Now you can use this tool as well. So I take the dough, and it's cold now, but I rolled it, and it wasn't perfect.
They're delicious.
So you can take a cookie tray or a tool like this, and just make it as tight as you can so it's smooth.
Cool.
And then you take it and roll it up. So basically, here we go. I'll just show you what I do to that. Thank you. Take the edge off and chocolate. And then just try to cut them as evenly as possible so they all cook at the same rate. Because if there's some thin ones, they're going to cook really quickly.
Now, they cook in like 8 or 10 minutes, right? Those little tiny things?
No, these really were about 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You have to watch them, but yeah, at 350. So that's.
These nuts are outrageous.
Oh, good.
What did you put on the nuts?
And rosemary, fresh rosemary, dried oregano, and olive oil, sea salt, and white pepper.
You can really taste the rosemary. It's delicious.
Yeah, thank you.
And why white pepper instead of just because it's
eat them all,
fire?
I think.
I kind of wanted a little heat. It's a little fiery, more fiery.
Speaking of heat, when I've had cakes, I think they might be Mexican or it seems like the chocolate cake has cayenne in it. And
You can do that, yeah.
what other things would you put, I bought a devil's food cake mix and I thought, well, I'm going to throw cayenne in this and some cinnamon.
And did you?
And I haven't done it yet.
Oh.
But I was wondering, what?
That wouldn't affect the cake. I mean, you taste it. Yeah.
Oh.
there's actually a
I
brand
like those
new.
cakes that have that cayenne taste.
I do too. And they have chocolate bars. There's a Vosges, I think is pronunciation.
Right.
They have beautiful spice bars. There's a new Mexican cookbook that is called My Sweet Mexico, I believe. It's a beautiful book, and it's about confections and all of the beautiful ways in which they celebrate sweets in Mexico. Not necessarily something you're going to make at home every day, but
Right.
very special things.
Cool.
So you
Have
might
to look at it.
take
Yeah.
a peek at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
At this rate, I'm going to serve these to you, and I just show you some other ideas that we can use I'm going to just jump over here for a minute. These are great little pastry cups, which you can buy, even in the grocery store these days, but usually baking supply stores. And
You ever go to Bar Boy?
Actually, when I used to bartend, we used to have to go to Bar Boy. Yep.
I like Bar Boy
It's a
a
great
lot.
spot.
yes,
place.
it's a great place.
I get these wine glasses. you have to buy things by the dozen, but they're a teardrop shape and they fit in the dishwasher.
Oh,
If you buy them
nice.
straight up, they fit in the dishwasher. I don't buy any wine glasses that don't fit in the
Look
refrigerator.
at that.
That's cute.
You know,
cute.
like for instance, if you bought one of these brownies, there's 12, so you could have dinner for 4 with maybe some fruit on the side, and you're good to go.
And that's how you serve them, little individual.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like
Platter
that.
them up.
Very good.
And another idea is if you had, let's say, listen, you don't have to make everything. You can go to any gourmet store and buy some brownies. And if it's a big one, you just cut them into
Yeah,
either
into little
quarters
slices.
or eighths or
Great
sixths.
idea.
Bite size is so much better because it really cuts down on the crumbs on your floor.
Yeah, but you could do this, and let's say these were baked. You would have those already you can pull them from the freezer, and then you could do,
A nice plate.
and
How do
throw
they
a couple
taste raw?
raspberries.
I know, right? People eat cookie dough raw.
I'm not a doughy person, but I'm sure someone would enjoy them.
What makes, there's so many different kinds of brownies, and some of them are very dry and cakey, and some of them are like really creamy and soft.
I
What
think
is it,
the
the
level of
eggs
flour. It could have more eggs, but also less flour.
Less flour, and they're the gooier ones.
Yeah, because it's more fudgy. Mm-hmm. Eggy and fudgy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, is this is a recipe that you've developed over a long time on your own, right? It's a good idea. Are you girls going to have
Yeah,
one?
please.
Dig
Dig in.
How long until the ganache hardens when
Well,
you
that
make
would
it?
go generally in the fridge. And I'll
Oh,
put that in
okay.
the fridge.
So that's how
when
it
we
Yeah, how are
finish,
you going to get that home without like?
Well, as we clean up, I'll put it in the freezer probably. Just to firm it. Otherwise, I'll just drive with it and my arms around it.
Thank
You can always top it up. Put some more ganache when it's cold, just to if I
So-
happen to hit it.
What are your favorite desserts to make
Wow.
around the holiday season that would be easy for someone to do if they wanted to?
My favorite.
Heavenly.
This
Very
is
good.
unbelievable. This is a
Very
dream
good.
come true.
Yep.
Thanks.
The best of all the worlds.
I love chocolate, so truffles are so fun to make. You make a nice combination. It's really kind of a ganache, but there's not as much cream, or it's really a different proportion. But you take like a little ice cream scoop or a teaspoon, and then roll them, and then you can dip them in chocolate. You can roll them in
Coconut.
nuts. So those are fun. I mean,
Wow.
that sounds
they're-
like fun.
Yeah.
One of them is a tease. You need like a whole bar.
Yeah. Well, trust me, if you had a whole bar, you would.
Oh, I'd be-
I have
They're
never
very
heard.
rich,
I
very-
haven't
Have
heard
a
of.
stomach
Yes.
ache.
I love the stories I hear. People tell me how they unwrapped them, what they did. 2 fell. I had to eat those immediately, and then they sort of put them in the freezer in a Ziploc bag, and then they go back for more. So it's a kind of an addictive sweet.
Brownies freeze well, and they are good
They do,
frozen.
and these do freeze well. You have to defrost them in
frozen
the
Milky
fridge.
Ways.
Yeah.
It's amazing the ganache does not come off on your hand.
Yeah.
It's
No.
like M&M.
Well, you could put the whole piece in your mouth at once.
Well, thank you. But the other thing, just in terms of other holiday gifts, I mean, or baked goods, I just think anything simple, like I like small, as we discussed. For me to have a few things, to taste 3 different things would be fun. Even going to Italian bakeries, some one biscotti of some sort, or one. I like the Regina biscuits, to augment the home baked things. It's really nice.
I like to go like to TJ Maxx. They have all these like crazy dishes in their home goods.
Yeah.
Do you know
Oh,
about their store
yeah.
Home Goods? I
Oh,
didn't
my
even know
goodness.
about Home Goods until recently.
In Riverhead.
TJ Maxx, Marshalls, they own Home Goods too. Have you ever been in there?
I have been in there, but I didn't know they owned that.
Yeah, TJ Maxx owns it. But you can get these pretty Christmas dishes, and then buy like even just go to King Cullen and get the Archways Christmas cookies.
Can we
And the
respect the last
cellophane,
one?
and the cellophane, and just pile it with cookies
No,
and wrap
yeah.
it with cellophane in a bow, and it's a really nice little house gift and
Yeah. Listen.
inexpensive. 'Cause
Absolutely.
the dish costs like $5. And, yeah, so.
And
just
just
gonna
another
keep
thing, I'll
eating.
bring it right back over here, is some chocolate chip cookies. We all love them.
finished with
Everyone, I am finished, thank you. We all love them, and I just put that twist tie on to hold it. But it's a really, you just get a cellophane bag at the party shop anywhere and bow it up, and I just think it's kind of fun.
Great imagination. It dresses it up very nicely.
Yeah,
Very
it's
nice.
just fun. Nothing, no rocket science. As pretty as it is, the crafts that really require glue guns are a little much.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness.
The peanut butter in that is unbelievable.
Creamy,
Oh, my
very.
God.
Yes.
Delicious.
Jeanne and I did a party for my husband's 60th birthday. I love being Jeanne's sous chef. She just tells me, she just orders me around, and I love
Oh,
it.
you know what you're doing.
And we roasted like just a ton of. We fed like what, 150 people.
Gosh, tons.
We made filet mignons, roasted vegetables. With all the salmon, we did
The salmon,
salmon.
that's right, the sides of salmon. But I went home to get dressed like as people were arriving, and I got to get back to get in the house to get into
long
the
driveway,
kitchen.
too.
Everyone was in
know.
the kitchen. You're like,
Oh my God, it was fun.
it was fun.
It was fun. That was 8
We
years
threw
ago.
great parties.
Almost 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So
years
what do
ago.
you do presently? Are you privately a private chef?
I am. I'm not full time. I work for different families. I do any of this type of thing. I shoot a television show, the Barefoot Contessa show, on the Food Network. 2 seasons. We have 2 shooting seasons in April, May, and then September, October.
Oh.
So I do that then.
Oh wow, I have to
Yeah.
look for you on there.
Well, no, I'm not on it. I'm a food stylist.
Oh,
Sometimes
okay.
you're
Well,
on it.
it's your ideas, right, and all that.
Well, no, it's I'm hired to come in and sort of facilitate her recipes, Ina's recipes, and there's a production company that the scripts that you follow.
A lot goes into that. You don't even
Yeah,
realize when you're
yeah.
watching it.
We are out of time.
Are we?
Yes, thank you so much for all the great
holidays.
ideas for
Happy
Christmas.
Thank you so
And
much.
everybody, get some of her brownies.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
website is up in the crawl. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us. That was a
And
treat.
happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas. And probably the next show will be in the new year, so let's hope 2011 is a banner year for
Oh,
all of us.
I
It's got to be
hope
better
so,
than
yes.
2010, right? So thank you for joining us, and ladies, give yourself lots of room. Room for love, room for fun, room to grow, and room to glow. Thank you. Bye.
Breathe in. Now I took what I want, but you find